Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. As you guys can tell, I'm having my coffee. I recorded today my F-150 Lightning video, what my impressions were, and as I promised in that video, which I believe was a couple of days ago for you guys, I promised I'd finally talk a little bit about my impressions of the Ford Mach-e. And I think, well, I'm kind of ready to talk about it. I have a few good things and bad things to say about it. Majority are good. So if you're thinking about buying it, stick around and I'll let you guys know some, well, my thoughts. It is very important to establish the fact that I have definitely owned the Mustang. I've owned actually a number of Ford products, and my business currently still owns a number of Ford products, including the F-150. When it comes to Ford, I do appreciate the fact that they are putting out vehicles, and I have seen and have had a chance to check out a little bit the actual Mach-e. I want to get the elephant kind of out of the room, the elephant in the room. I just want to get it out of the way. So first things first, the Ford Mach-e, my biggest issue with it is its name. And you've heard, I'm sure, other people talk about it. When it comes to, you notice I refer to it as the Mach-e. I don't refer to it as the Mustang Mach-e. I think having the Mustang logo on the Mach-e is an absolutely idiotic thing to do. But as far as Ford is concerned, just like they did with F-150 Lightning, they went with a very common name. It's a very powerful name, and they're using that as a marketing tool. Using the Mustang name, the Mach-e name, as a marketing tool in this case is good business, but it's frankly insulting the customer. Especially the long-term owners, or people who've owned these cars. They know what the Mustang name stood for. Having a Mach-e and it's, use the Mustang name is kind of sad. That's kind of where the negative aspect starts, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And I'm going to end the negativity as far as I'm concerned, at least for now, at that point. But let's talk about some of the positives when it comes to the Mach-e. A lot of people who ask me about looking into a electric vehicle, I talk about different vehicles and what I might suggest other than Teslas. Currently, I do highly recommend Teslas to anybody, and there's a lot about Teslas that make sense that don't yet make sense when it comes to the other manufacturers. However, this is what I'm going to say about them for the Mach-e. At this moment, and I'm not talking in the future when there might be a bigger infrastructure, at this moment with the Ford Mach-e, you do have to think about infrastructure, and unfortunately the charging infrastructure is not as big yet as it should be for somebody to be able to use that vehicle to its fullest extent. That being said, we're going to put the charging aside, and let's pretend for a second that you do have the ability to charge at home. And if you have the ability to charge at home, then you are doing pretty good, darn good. For the price that you're paying, I think you're getting a great vehicle. When it comes down to the overall vehicle as a everyday usable vehicle, again, assuming you have a place to charge at home, I think it's a great option. It's a great option for you if you don't want a Tesla, if you kind of want to get away from a Tesla, the brand, whatever reason. I know a lot of people who will buy anything but a Tesla just because it's not their brand. It's not something, there is such a thing as a brand loyalty, and that's really important to understand for many reasons. Brand loyalty is a big thing that, people build up. At one point, I was definitely, what the heck was that? I was definitely more into, when I owned Fords, obviously, I was a huge Ford fan, but I've never been a fanboy of any company. I think I have certain companies I can't stand just because they make silly darn choices or their vehicles are just absolute crap. Most of you have experienced that throughout life. And so here we are today, we're talking about the Mach-e. As far as the look of the vehicle, it's a questionable look that I think the thing that takes away from the look is the Mustang name. I mean, I hate to bring that up, but it takes away from the look. So if we look past it and we kind of say, you know what, forget it, it's not a Mustang, I don't mind the look overall. I think it works. I think the interior works. I think the exterior works. I think it's got a nice style to it. But nobody in this world who really needs a vehicle will buy a vehicle for its looks. You're going to buy it for its functionality. And for functionality, I think the Mach-E is doing pretty good. I think overall it makes sense. It's going to get you from point A to point B, just like any other car, like my car. I obviously, if you don't know, I have a Tesla 100D. It doesn't matter. You can own a Honda Civic from the 80s, or you can own a Bentley. All vehicles are designed to take you from point A to point B. So is it a good car in that sense? Absolutely it is. Any car is a good car in that sense. But why would you want to buy the Mach-E? One, it's brand loyalty. If you really do love Ford and you respect the company, you know what? The Mach-E is a really good way to help out the company and kind of show support to the company. Show support to electrification if that's what you're looking for. So yeah, there's definitely that aspect. And it's, for many of you, you might not think of it, but it is actually a pretty big thing when it comes to the auto industry, and for a lot of personal, how you people make that personal choice on what they're going to buy. Overall, is it the best EV on the market? Absolutely not. But it is a EV nonetheless that is definitely up there when it comes to, especially electric cars, if you want to switch to an electric car. And as much as I kind of want to get away from the whole idea of, the charging infrastructure and the future of charging and all those things, I do have to bring up a little bit when it comes to charging. I think one of the biggest issues that a lot of companies have, a lot of legacy manufacturers have, is the actual charging infrastructure. Now, I know a lot of you are going to bring up something like Electrify America or Electrify Canada or Ionic if you're in Europe, and there's countless others. They're not the only ones. I know people talk about this, but they're not the only ones. There are fast chargers and there are chargers out there. Rarely do you ever see a lot of chargers, something, where there's 10, 15, 20 stalls. That's a rarity. So the more of these cars that are going to come on the market, these chargers, although there's quite a few today, overall, I guess, there just simply isn't enough. If there's a tiniest little tiny boom, let's say, for example, the F-150 Lightning, the Mach-E, the Kia Niro, if those pick up in sales, people are going to have a very hard time charging overall, just because there simply isn't a big enough infrastructure. But there is a positive spin I'm going to put on this, and that is, if you have a home charger, if you have any capability of charging your vehicle at home, you definitely won't have a problem. And just like what I said with the F-150 Lightning in a previous video, as long as you have a way to charge it, the range is there, and you're not going to have a problem worrying about range, unless you're currently heading out further than your range, 2-3 times your range. Then you might run into a number of problems when it comes to just charging in general. However, that being said, not a lot of people head out too far, and not a lot of people do a lot of road trips. This is the part where I say, if you are local and you're buying a vehicle for something that is within that range area that you're using every single day, go ahead, buy the Mach-E. I think it's a great option for you. It's a great option overall for pretty much anybody who wants to go into the EV market. I don't like I keep referring to it as the Mach-E, not the Mustang Mach-E. The number one reason is because I can't stand that name. That's a personal choice that has nothing to do with you, but you guys can let me know in the comment section if you guys like the name. Do you like the design? And overall, why would you not buy the Mustang Mach-E? I highly recommend buying it though. I think the Mach-E, for majority of the people, I think the Mach-E will do that. I think it's going to give you the ability to go from point A to point B, no problem. And as long as you stay within that charging, within your range area of the vehicle, I think you'll be perfectly fine. You'll be extremely happy with your vehicle. And I can say with certainty, if you have a way to charge it at home, you will absolutely love the Ford Mach-E. That all being said, it is, your choice. And it is something that you yourself have to ultimately decide, because you're the one that has to drive it. The Mach-E, might actually be exactly what you need. I think the Mach-E's are a really good balance between, you know, going crazy with having all the things that Tesla does, and then still having a gas powered car that has really nothing, and it's kind of an ancient dinosaur in more ways than one. So I think it's a really good balance between them. I think for a majority of the people, it's going to be much easier to get into a Mach-E than it is to get into anything else. So do I recommend it? Yes. I'll give it probably a 7 out of 10. Ask for a comparison. I definitely give the Model Y a 9 out of 10, the Model Y long range. So yeah, when it comes down to it, I would give it a good high rating. I respect the company. I think I'm happy with what I'm seeing from Ford as far as them, you know, at least trying and doing something. Whatever you do, do not buy this because it's got the Mustang logo on it. It is nothing like the Mustang. It will never be a Mustang as far as I'm concerned. If they're going to take one of the true soul of the Mustang, you want that. Unfortunately, right now you still only have the gas powered cars. Go out, buy a GT, a Mustang Cobra, a Mustang Celine. Those are the true Mustangs. The Mach-E is not a Mustang. It will never be a Mustang, and I don't know anybody who actually believes that the Mach-E is a Mustang. So I kind of started with that. I'm gonna finish the video with that. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.